Alrighty, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. It is Friday, August 23rd, 2024. Welcome. Let's talk about my account. And again, this journey is just for me to really vlog what I'm doing. I'm trying to track my trades, show you what I'm doing, but really it's for me to see, what I'm doing, holding myself accountable for my trades, making sure that I'm, sticking to my plans, and really just sharing with you my, the wins, the losses, everything that goes along with just me trading my accounts here. So hopefully you're getting something out of this, and if you get some takeaways, goods or bads, out there, maybe there's some ideas you like, maybe some ideas you don't like. Some of you enjoy it, some of you don't. Some of you want to poke holes in it because you can and it's easy because I'm laying my stuff out on the internet. It's all good. We've done some great things for years, and we've also had some not so good things happen, uh, here. And it's part of the journey. It's part of my journey as I'm trading out there. So hopefully you're getting something out of this, and you can learn again from the goods and the bads. So let's get into it and see what happened this week. Overall, good week for all the portfolios that I have. I'm going to share today a little bit more about the Lazy Trader portfolio. We'll see how that one's doing. We'll also look at the main portfolio, show you how that one's doing. Take a quick look at a few things in the market, but just show you what we're trading more than anything and give you a sense of what I'm doing. And if that resonates for you, great. If not, it's all good. You get to at least see my journey here as I look to navigate these financial waters of the world of trading. And we've had a good run for many years. We took a few losses a little bit this month, but overall, I think we're better. Every time we take some setbacks, and trust me, I have lost plenty of money over the years. I've made plenty of money over the years. Okay? It's just a journey that continues to evolve, and we win some, we lose some, and hopefully we learn something and move on. And I think I become a better trader every time something goes wrong. So really, I look for those opportunities here to get better. But let's share what we got. So we'll start off with the Lazy Trader account, which I kind of started showing you guys the other day. I just want you to have a sense of what is it that I'm doing in this particular account. The Lazy Trader account is a portfolio margin account that I run. And just show you a little bit of what I do in there. I really only have 3 core trades in that account, and I've really, been tracking it earnestly for about a month now. So maybe pretty close to a month. We're doing okay, but it's a bull market, so hard to do poorly. But the 3 strategies we do, we have, again, portfolio margin. So we trade SPY, LEAP puts. Okay, we have a system for that. Been doing that system in other accounts of mine for many, many years. But this one I'm just using to track some different variations of what I'm doing. So there's a SPY LEAP put campaign style trade in there, number 1. Number 2, I do trade poor man's covered calls. So we have a handful of those in there, which is essentially buying leaps and writing covered calls against those weekly, monthly, 60 days, whatever. I do have a specific strategy that I use for the poor man covered call. So we'll take a look at some of those. And then I also trade leaps in this account. And again, it's a portfolio account, so don't trade futures in this account. I only trade stocks and ETFs because I can take advantage of the portfolio margin. Probably the 4th thing, I said there's 3, but there's really 4. The 4 is the anchor to the whole thing, and I do trade bill in this, which is the Treasury bill ETF short term, and I trade about 90% of my account. I use bill for 90% of it, which again leaves me 99% of my buying power available to trade stocks and ETFs. It's very different than futures. So I wanted to share some of that with you, but again, just show you my journey, show you what we're doing. So that's the Lazy Trader account. Let's take a look at that account first and see what's going on in that particular account. So let me share my screen. Let's jump into it, and we'll keep going. All right. So again, I've been doing this since the end of July. So we started with about a $200,000 account in here in July, and just giving you a sense of what's happening. in this account, we've moved up, I don't know, about 13 grand maybe in net lick. And we've closed about 3,300 in realized gains so far. But because most of these are longer term trades, we don't book realized as often as we may do in some other accounts. Trades don't come off as fast when you're trading SPY leap puts. Those take about 40 days or so. Leaps can take months to come off, potentially, maybe 3, 4, 6 months, 10 months or more for leaps to close. And then the poor man covered calls, those can come off roughly every 30 days or so based upon my strategy. So I'll share with you some of the trades I got on, and then we'll take a look at the whole thing. So again, I do keep an eye roughly on delta and theta, but they're not really big numbers for me. I'm not so worried about delta and theta in this account, okay? But I do track them. Netflix is up to 210, which is an all-time high for this account. Buying power, I'm using about $85,000 in total buying power, which really comes out to about 35% of my account is invested at any given time. So 35, maybe 40% of my account is invested at any one given time. So that being said, we've booked about $3,300 worth of gains in about a month of trading. So overall, pretty good with what we're doing. So we're averaging right now about 6% for the year, so almost 7% up for the year, but we've only been trading for a month, which is going to average out to somewhere in the neighborhood of 8.5. Actually, we've only been trading this since the end of July. So really, we only have August, September, October, November, and December. So it's really only 5 months left in this. So I probably should change these numbers to reflect the fact that I'm only going to be trading this account for the remaining 5 months of this year. So we're doing okay, averaging 2% in this account so far as growth goes, which is totally fine. So happy with where we are. We'll take that. And that, again, this is 2% a month. Actually, this is probably something I got to tweak. So it's not really, we're really closer to 6%. I got to fix some of these formulas. So we'll deal with that later. And here's the allocation. So Bill, I'm using that in 90% of my total account is in Bill. But Bill, in a portfolio margin account, okay, while it uses up cash, it does not really use up any margin. You really have about 99% of your margin available to trade stocks and ETFs. Now, it's using up 90% of my cash, which means I cannot trade futures. I can't really take assignment on stocks, but that's all good because that's not really the goal in this particular account. So Bill, 90%. Okay, but doesn't affect my trades. Now, SPY leaps, I will allocate about 30% of my account towards that strategy. Okay. Poor man's covered calls, about 20% of the account goes towards that strategy, and then I'll invest the rest in leaps. And the goal here to generate, again, about 3% a month is my goal on this. If I didn't put and I do have other accounts that if I don't do the poor man's covered calls, it's about a 2% or leaps, and I just do Bill and the SPY campaign, I'm going to generate close to 2% a month with just those two things. But I do add some of these in here on the poor man covered calls and the leaps, just to give it a little extra juice. But I do like the setup on this particular account. I will give you a quick view of everything that's in this account right now. So you can see right now I have 1, 2, 3 SPY leaps on. Okay, so those SPY leap puts are all on and running right now. And then I have continued to add Bill to the account to try to keep it at roughly 90%. I'm actually a little short right now on Bill. What am I at? I'm at about 174,000, and I really need to be close to about 189,000. So I need to add a little bit more Bill to the account. I'll probably do that on Monday, right? And then which will get us close to the distribution that's coming up anyway. So there's my SPY trades. Okay. Then the poor man's covered calls. I probably could just sort bill separately. Maybe I'll do that just to make it a little easier for everybody uh, to see here. I will track my bill slightly separately. Sorry, you probably didn't care to see my workings of my spreadsheet necessarily, but I'm gonna do this just so it's easier probably for me to track. If for you want to follow it for whatever reason, you can. If not, again, I'm sharing what I'm doing, and you can take it or leave it from there. Uh, but here we are on so 3 SPY naked puts. Those are floating around out there. We've already closed 2 SPY leap puts already. So we've closed 2 SPY leaps already. 4 men covered calls here. Tracking the long leap part here. So 4 men covered call is that we're buying a leap. Okay, out in the future, you can see that I'm averaging somewhere between 150, 190 days. You can go longer if you want. Right now, because these are mostly stocks, this is what I'm in. And then I'm selling shorter dated, usually 30 DTE covered calls against these. Okay, and then I have a whole set of management rules on these. We have closed 1 in TLT so far. So we've been holding TLT in here as a leap, but I did have written some covered calls against it. Really, it's probably more of a spec trade, I guess, because it's a one-time covered call than anything else. But on these leaps, we do have TLT leaps, MicroStrategy leaps, and also some short. We have long TLT, and we also have short TLT leaps. So I'm very bullish bonds, as you may know from the other accounts. All right, so hopefully this makes sense to you. There's the account. A look inside what we're trading, and you get a sense of how this trade, of how this strategy is working. All right, let's jump into the main trading account. We ended the week this week. So good week overall, up $1,560 this week. So back to the positive side for the week. And again, last week was a down week, but only because of a roll. And just the way I account for the roll is a roll to me is booking a loss and opening a new trade. So that's how I account for it here. Even though I took a credit in for the roll, I'm just going to book the loss and I'll book the gain when I close the other piece of the roll. Anyway, we ended the week 292 here on the delta, 958 on theta. So doing okay for the volatility that we're in right now. What did we close today? We're at 1330, or I'm sorry, 1586. So volatility back into the mid-teens, not back down to the 12 or 13 level. So we're still hanging out in there. VVIX about 100, so still a little elevated. But 353, 452, so highest mark we've had since the big selling on the 5th. So we're continuing to just, as the market's moving up, a lot of our naked puts that we had that were, having some decent sized losses, they're starting to really recover here. We've added more trades on. Buying power usage right now, after we subtract our bill, is about 40%, and that's about where I want to keep it. So I like it right here around that 40% mark. That also takes into account several hedges that we have on. So we've added a lot of hedges. Realize that I need more hedges than I had on. So I have reduced the size of some of my trades and reduced the number of trades, although I still have quite a few trades on. But really, I'm sticking with my core strategies that have worked for years and years and years. But what I've done is enhanced how those work. I've lowered the quantities a bit of the naked puts, and I've increased significantly the amount of hedging that I'm doing. Obviously, I did not have enough hedging on to move me more successfully through. I wasn't successful at all to move me successfully through the August 5th Volmageddon piece, but we have rectified that. Hopefully, 2 great hedges on that I'm using in conjunction with each other still should allow us to generate some pretty good income here. I'm also tracking my Vega a little bit. It's not my favorite thing, but my Vega is about 5 to 1 to my theta, which I'd love to see it maybe a little bit lower, but previously it was closer to like 9, 10 to 1. So we have cut our Vega in half. So much less volatility risk, good hedges on overall. So we're doing well there. And then if I look at my closed trades for the week, okay, we closed, again, not a busy week. I've had some family things to deal with, and I did some traveling Monday and Tuesday, so I wasn't on doing as many videos this week, but I'll try to keep up. Next week we should be back to normal. I was traveling for a little bit of business Monday and Tuesday, didn't get to post, really didn't get to close or do any zero DTE trades. I did on the 21st, which was Wednesday, after I had come back from the Monday, Tuesday travel, I was able to trade zero DTE that day for a nice successful on Wednesday. Didn't close anything yesterday. And then today we closed 2 new trades. Both of these were put spreads. So I had an Aussie dollar put spread and a copper put spread that we have on. So we're really doing a lot more of some of these put spreads as well as zero DTE. We've been very, very good at zero DTE. If I take a look at the success of zero DTE overall for the year, we've had 66 total trades. Again, I don't trade zero DTE every day, and it's not because maybe I don't see the setup. Okay, I feel I have a good strategy to deal with just about any scenario. Okay, whether the market's going up or down or trending sideways, I think I have a great plan for it. I just don't have time every day to always log in, and sometimes I don't even think about it. All of a sudden I look and it's 11 or 12 and I don't want to do it. But 66 trades, we have won 63 of those trades in zero DTE. So very successful on zero DTE trades this year. I'm using those to probably recover some of the losses. We're not revenge trading, okay, but to juice up some of the returns. It doesn't, I don't have to hold them overnight. I don't have those risks. I'm able to trade this. I have a good strategy. We share that in the Discord with the members, but I feel like I've got a good strategy with the zero DTE. And like I said, I've got a fantastic, almost 95% win rate. 63 out of 66 is a 95% win rate. Fantastic. So pretty excited about zero DTE for the year. These things have paid off really well. $15,000 from zero DTE trades for the year. All right, so there's a quick recap. I don't really want to get too much into the markets. Nothing really happened at the Fed meetings today at Jackson Hole. Nothing exciting coming out, which is what we didn't expect. In fact, maybe volatility is up a little bit today. I really didn't expect the Fed to do anything. Pretty nice bounce in the markets. I mean, they just continue to move higher. If we're looking at the overall trend in the market, it continues to be higher. We're moving into, the old previous highs. We're just a little bit away from that. Maybe we're stalling out a bit. I mean, squeeze has fired to the upside, RSI rising, MACD is rising, but rolling over a tad. But right now we're pretty bullish, and we're big candle today, big up this. So we'll see if we get follow through next week. I think that's something that we'll have to keep an eye on. Oil, huge bounce today. We have a 112 on oil and some naked puts on oil. Both of those doing fantastic right here in oil. So I think I still like oil. I think it's holding, I don't know where the low there is. I think we're probably close to these lows. I mean, we'll just leave it where it is. But hit this low here. So this is our trend line here that we keep popping on and then bouncing. Is this a double bottom on oil? Do we run higher, or do we stay in this overall consolidation, tightening, symmetrical triangle? And we'll see how it goes. But we're good. We have some bullish trades on oil, and they're hanging in there decently. On bonds, we're in this tight volatility box area here that we've been in for roughly a little over 3 weeks. We're just in this trading range in the box. If we can break out to the side, I think bonds run. This is the 10-year note, okay, which we are long on. We've got naked puts in here, up a couple percent already in 2 days. On on these. We've also got a put credit spread up 32%. So really trying to get more of these put credit spreads, 0 DTE, using those to help me generate more cash while we wait for the 112s that got the living daylights beat out of them. We're waiting for them to recover more and start to pull them off. I've got a couple getting ready. They're in the 80% range. So we'll probably start looking to take those off around 90% or so. So I like those. And then even though we got stopped out on some, I did add most of those back that first week back at some decent volatility. So they're already paying off. That's helped our net lick also run up a bit. So we're traders. That's what we do. I'm just sharing my journey with you. So hopefully you get a sense to see of here's how I'm handling it. Here's what I'm doing. And I'm transparent with you guys, showing you the goods and the bads. Yep, took some significant losses a couple weeks ago, but I'm sticking to my plan. I'm going to stay consistent. I've made improvements, made some tweaks, like the direction we're going, and we've got plenty of tricks in the bag to keep generating cash. So I'm excited to see how much of this I can recover without going crazy on risk. Okay, but we're going to trade our way back to profitability for the year. So we're down and we're going to trade our way back because that's what we do. Okay, so we trade, and I'm not giving up. I'm not bailing out. You can keep spewing hate if you don't like me. Fine. I wish you well. Okay, but you don't have to follow me as well. Okay, if you're getting something out of this, if it's entertaining or you're learning something or pulling some things away, fantastic. I'm just again I'm going to keep plugging forward. I'm going to stay consistent. We're going to keep trading. Okay. And I'm going to share my journey of the ups, the downs, and the backups as we get back to hopefully back to up before the end of the year. It's going to be a task, but I'm excited to do it. But I'm sharing again 2 different styles here. Okay. This main trading style, not really changing a whole lot except adding more hedges and reducing some risk. I had some spec trades that I should not have been in. Okay. We've taken care of all of that. So we'll see how this thing starts to perform if we could get some higher volatility again. And then I'm also sharing this lazy trader account. Okay. Again, trading's not lazy. Okay. But this account shouldn't require an awful lot of daily watching to see what we're trading 365 DTE leaps. We're trading 180 day leaps, and we're doing poor man's covered calls on anything that's 180 to a year out, 180 days to 360 days out. And we're writing monthly covered calls, not weekly. So there's not a ton of management. And you can see again, the realized, not huge yet, but the P&L is certainly jumping. We're up about 6-7% in a month on here. So 2 different accounts. Okay, 2 very different strategies, 2 very different things, but I want to share them with you. Maybe get something out of this. If not, hopefully it's entertaining to you. All right, if you like this video and you're getting something out of it, go ahead and click that like button down below. We appreciate you guys. Everybody who's been great and positive out there as you watch my journey. I really appreciate it. Keeps me cranking. And again, if I can help anybody by watching what I'm doing and avoiding mistakes or using the things that are working, fantastic, folks. Okay, we'll see you all. Stay safe. Have a great weekend, everybody, and take care out there. All right, we'll see you on Monday. Bye.